Going to be starting a new project on the 68 Chevy truck today. We previously put fuel injection on the truck and that all worked out well, runs good. The fellow that owns this truck also wants to rewire the truck, so we have a auto wiring harness. We're going to get started on that today. If you haven't watched the fuel injection install videos, we have 3 of those on this same truck. You might want to check them out. It's going to be a complete wiring harness. Be under the dash, gauges, the engine compartment, headlights, tail lights. I think the best thing is just to take out all the old wiring harness, start from scratch where we have nothing in there, and proceed like that. So first thing I'm going to do this morning is just start to unhook everything and get all that old wiring out. Nice day today. I don't even have the heat on in the garage. His low last night was in the mid 50s, so supposed to get in the mid 60s, upper 60s today. We'll get started on this truck and see if we can get some new wiring put in it. First thing I'm going to do this morning before I start taking all the wiring out is disconnect the battery and get it out. I was looking this truck over about how it is wired. Everything on the firewall is pretty straightforward. I don't see anything too bad a shape on it, but they've got a stereo system mounted in the cab and they put a big fuse here. Doesn't look too nice where it's at, but all this other old wiring that's in here, it's going to all come out. Well, making some progress cutting wires out. Cut these and this one, and I've took the plug out here that has a bolt that holds it plugged into the, goes to the inside of the truck. 4 wires on this coil, so I'm going to try to decipher what they do. I also have this MSD box that has to be hooked back up, so got to make note of all of that. Unhooked the carburetor, got all the wires to it that laying on top. Battery's out. They do a little painting there under the battery. I'm going to get all this carpet out of here. I'll have to take the shifter boot and all of that, whatever you call that. They've got a pedestal on the shifter. I'll try to get that out. Get this carpet out, and that'll make it easier to get under the dash and see what kind of wires we need to remove there. But over here, this is all this blue wire way up under the dash, and it's running everywhere. That goes to the power amp, and there's a ground wire right there that's bolted down. That ground wire is bigger than a welding ground. What a mess of wires just for a power amp to listen to music. Got rid of a lot of stuff. The old power amp's gone and all those wires that were stretched across. Had to take the radio out because the power amp plugged into it. The next thing is to pull this dash bezel off. If I can get in behind it. I think it's got nuts on the back side that hold it in, so I don't see anything exposed on the front, so I have to try to get in there and get it loose. Well, the dash bezel was easy to get out. Not really. Got bolts and nuts on the back side, and they're not fun to get to either. I've got everything unhooked but this main harness here, so I'll probably just cut it because we're not going to use it anyway. So I had to get the instrument cluster out of the way. Well, it's lunchtime, so I'm going to take a break, get me something to eat, and I'll come back down after lunch. Just keep removing wires. All the old wiring harness is out. Do have some stray wires here. This is a speaker wire, goes to a speaker right there. And this is a dome light. wire, I'm pretty sure, for the dome light in the cab. And I got a couple of wires that go to the shifter right there. That's probably the neutral safety switch wires, I would say. But the rest of it's gone. Next, I moved to the front of the truck, and the new wiring harness has headlight wiring, parking light wiring, all of that's new, so I had to take out the old. And there was a cover over this top of the grill. I had to take that off to get into it, but pretty interesting. I found a wad of wires probably that big around running across the radiator panel, and they ran in through this big hole right here and come through, see my finger there, came through that hole, and there was an old voltage regulator mounted right there, along with a lot of wires that were apparently attached to the cooling fan on the radiator. And I've taken it off too, because a fella's gonna put a different one on it. But I wanted to show you this wad of wires that I found. There's what I found. You can see the old voltage regulator. Truck's got a 1-wire alternator on it now, so none of that's needed. But it was amazing that all those wires were on the radiator panel there on the front of the truck. There's the cooling fan that they had on it, and you can see here all of those wires there ran to this somewhere or another. I don't know, but that cooling fan will weigh 20 pounds. I told the fellow that owns the truck, I said, it'd be a lot lighter when we get done. Won't weigh as much anyway. So, pretty amazing. Here's another picture of everything I removed there in the front. And another thing I found on the battery cable that goes to the starter, it had these 2 wires in it, so I'm assuming they go to the solenoid on the starter. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I'll have to trace them down to see, but they were also connected in all this mess of wiring that I've removed. So we're making progress. We're getting rid of a lot of old wires, and we're getting about ready to put the new wiring harness in. This panel went right in here from a radiator this way, and that's behind it was where the voltage regulator and all that stuff was at. So you can see there's some debris down in there we're going to have to clean out. A lot of work's been done on this truck in the past. I don't know if it's good work or not. We're still finding things that were done to it. That's it for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 when we'll start to put the new wiring harness in the truck. And thanks for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. And we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel. Thanks.